I'm sorry. Sausage McMuffin with egg. And that shit was good. Anyway. Hey, YouTube! It's me. And you know why I'm back? Because Real Housewives of Atlanta came on last night. The new season, I think it's season 7. Although it feels like it's been longer than 7 seasons, but that just shows how fast time flies. I actually kind of felt like this episode was a little bit boring. I don't know how you guys felt, but normally the season openers pack a bigger punch than what we got last night. I understand that, a lot probably had to be altered because of the Apollo situation. So yeah, we'll just get into it anyway. You know, Lackluster opener, but I'm definitely here for this whole season. So first off, let's start with Phaedra and Apollo. I felt like the Bravo producers, whoever put this episode together, was trying to get us to pick teams. Team Phaedra, Team Apollo. And it seemed like the producers were trying to skew things to make us side with Apollo. There was a whole bunch of us there was a whole bunch of attempts to make us try to feel sorry for Apollo. His brother came and he was crying. Apollo just laid it on very, very, very thick why we should feel sorry for him. He did the crime, but he was only caught because somebody else had narked on him, basically, is what he was saying. And he thinks it's fucked up that Phaedra just left before the court date and wouldn't let him see his kids. And it's just boo-hoo Apollo the whole time, right? And then you have Phaedra's side. Phaedra, they tried to get her looking, coming off as very icy and detached and very cold towards the whole situation. Sorry, I'm Team Phaedra on this one. I couldn't, there wasn't anything in me that would allow me to feel sorry for Apollo. And I just totally side with Phaedra in all capacities. I feel like, you can't cry about not being able to see your kids now when what you were doing that caused you to be in court and be in jail, you weren't thinking about your kids then. So I was with her on that one. I just feel like 2 seasons ago, he started fucking up and we could see the detachment from Phaedra. Especially last season and especially on the last reunion. It just felt like they were not, she was over it. That's basically what it was. She was over it. She's over it now. She's over him. She wants to just kind of sever that tie quickly, painlessly, and I just understand her detached demeanor because, especially if you have somebody as cute as Apollo, it might be hard to kind of stick to your guns and stay away. But I feel like she's trying to just sever the ties, and I totally don't blame her. I mean, it wasn't just this particular case, but 2 seasons ago, he was, doing all those shenanigans with Kenya Moore. Last season, he said so many things that just made him sound so stupid and made, by association, made her sound like, okay, you dealing with a stupid ass dude. And, this court case, I don't blame her. She's had enough. And I don't feel like it's wrong of her to, hit a breaking point with her marriage. It happens. So, personally, Team Phaedra, I guess, probably somebody out there fell for Apollo's bullshit, but, the last little conversation that they had, he was just spouting off fucking nonsense. And, Phaedra was kind of just there. She was just like, oh, okay. All right. She kind of listening to his bullshit, but just knowing that his bullshit that doesn't need to be paid attention to. So yeah, at the end of that conversation, it was, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I'm going to contact divorce attorneys or whatever. Okay, but you're going to jail. Anywho, that's Phaedra and Apollo. And I did want to add that I'm really, really happy that Phaedra did come back. I totally didn't think that she was going to come back after last season. I think last season, during the airing is when we had found out about Apollo, possibly going to jail and everything. And I figured, with her Southern Belle thing, that she wasn't going to want to air out everything about her life on TV, including a divorce, which is kind of frowned upon when it comes to Southern Belles. But I'm glad that she's back because I just love Phaedra. I've always loved Phaedra. I think she's funny. I think she handles herself well. And, I'm really excited to kind of see single Phaedra and see what that's going to be all about. So, yeah, I'm just really happy that she's back on the show. Last night was kind of awkward, I guess, but Team Phaedra all the way. 100%. So Todd and Candy was boring as well. There wasn't actually much with them. They were just talking about kids. And I should say that I was 6 minutes late. And so when I actually turned on the TV, they were on. And they were talking about his daughter. I forget her name. And how she just graduated. If you follow them on Instagram, you would have seen all the millions of pictures that they had of her graduation. But, this is where, the divide comes in between Todd and Candy. And, Candy's like, oh, are you going to give her your Range Rover? And he's like, well, no. She needs to start off with like a Honda or a Toyota or something like that. Whereas Candy, definitely spoils her daughter, Riley. He made a note of that. And, it's just... They could have kept that scene, to be honest. I mean, they were trying to show that the opposites in their parenting styles. And, talk a little bit about the fact that they want to have a baby. And, yeah, Todd's just kind of like, well, let me have my daughter settle in first, and then we could really, start thinking about that. And then the next part was their conversation about Phaedra and Apollo. And how Todd really thinks that it's fucked up that Phaedra, didn't show up to court with him. And he really wanted to know if that's something that Candy agreed with and if that's something that she would do to him. And, at first Candy didn't really want to get into it because I guess they have been getting into it about Apollo and Phaedra prior to that. But, she just confirmed that, if it was Todd, she would go see him. But she tried to make a little excuse for Phaedra, like, oh, she's not really used to, going to visit loved ones in jail. And I guess I kind of saw her point, but I don't think that she really needed to go there. I hate to say it because I love Candy and I love Todd, but I just feel like I saw the early warning signals of something that could be troubling to their marriage in the future. I feel like Candy, and it's understandable because she's been single all this time, I feel like Candy is stuck in her ways. And I think compromise is going to be kind of hard for her. I also feel like I like Todd a lot, and I think that he makes, smart decisions and they have the conversations that they need to have. But I just feel kind of like, Todd is probably going to get tired of her not compromising. And then I feel like Candy is going to get tired of him questioning her ways that she's stuck in. If any of that makes sense. I feel like, she is set in her certain way, and he's a little bit judgmental of her ways. And so I feel like she might, just get tired of, okay, well, why are you questioning me about why my daughter has 60-inch, LCD screens in her room, Anyway, we won't get into that. But I just saw a little bit of something there, and I don't know if anybody else saw it. But anyway. Kenya and Cynthia were also kind of boring. I mean, Kenya was just whining and boohooing about the whole reunion thing, how she got her hair lightly tugged by Portia. We all know that fight wasn't that big of a deal, whatever. But she's just, oh, I'm so humiliated and I feel ganged up on, because if it was anybody else, then they would be comforting the person who got assaulted, which was me. Nobody likes you. You know that you have sort of burned your own bridges. And I like Kenya a lot, but I just feel kind of like, why would you expect them to take your side when you know that they don't like you? You've made it so that they don't like you. I mean, she definitely picks at Phaedra. She definitely picks at Portia. She definitely picks at Nene now. Candy and Cynthia are really the only ones that are sort of neutral. But then, Candy is friends with Phaedra. And, before Cynthia was friends with Nene. So anyway, I was just kind of over Kenya. I wasn't really even paying attention to too much of what she said, because it's like, why would you expect them to have your back? You're not their friends. They don't like you. However, I've said this before, but I do like the Cynthia and Kenya friendship. I like it because they sort of came up. I know Cynthia was a legitimate model, and Kenya was more of like the pinup kind of model. But they were both, in the 90s. They were both doing things. And I said this before on one of my other recaps, but I feel like Cynthia knows how to talk to Kenya and, get through to Kenya. And I feel like Cynthia is the only person that Kenya actually listens to. She might, go on her bullshit for a while, but in the end, she does normally listen to what Cynthia has to say, because I guess she really respects her and blah, blah, blah. So, I like their relationship together. It did seem kind of phony last night. I'm sorry. Kenya seemed just a little too happy to have somebody on her team, and vice versa. I think that they're just really excited about this new, we can officially be friends kind of thing, and, start anew. But other than that, they were pretty boring. Cynthia had a cute little scene with Peter. He came in and surprised her with the picnic basket. That was sushi lunch. And, they were talking about, I guess, how Bar One had to foreclose, but her modeling agency still stayed at the location, and how he's going to do bar or something in Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm assuming. And and I might need you to be an investor. Kind of snuck that one in, but she was just like, let me get more information on it first. And I think no, don't do it, but that's her, whatever. So yeah, Cynthia, we'll see. I like her for the most part, and I think that she's really, really happy. She's, feeling this weight lifted off her now that she's from under Nene's shadow now. She says she feels free. She feels like she could be who she really is, and she feels like her marriage is better. Everything is better since Nene left, so we'll see. You guys, my skin looks like good right now. Maybe it's just in the camera, but yeah, because if I look here, it's not all that. But anyway. Um, Portia, as we know, she's not a peach holder. I actually didn't even see the intro this season, so I don't know if they introduced Claudia. They probably didn't, because I remember when Portia came on, she wasn't on the premiere episode, and they didn't have her on the thing. So I don't know. Was Portia holding a peach at the beginning? Anyway, she had a scene. Her scene was like that big. She was talking to Candy. I guess she was at a photo shoot looking a skank mess. No, I'm just joking. I honestly, this is off topic, but I don't feel like Portia needed all those boobs. Not all those boobs. I can see maybe she wanted a little increase. But I felt like when you have a body like that, you don't need big ass boobs because you are a mannequin and you can, I mean, if you have a body like that and you don't have these big ass boobs, you can kind of get into anything and look cute in anything. The boobs are going to hinder her. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know why I said that, but do you guys get my point? She's a fashionista. She's, she is really stylish. I always have given Portia props on the way that she looks, the clothes that she picks, the accessories, her hair, and everything. But I feel like these boobs are going to hinder her, and they're going to take her into a place that's more skeezy, slutty, because that's what's going to fit her body with those boobs. So we'll see. But I don't know. She was showing them off. I kind of wasn't paying attention to the scene, but she was showing them off to Candy. And I was like, I mean, they're good. They look like a good boob job, but I feel like she was so cute pre-boob job. I just don't think that she needed them, and she definitely didn't need them that big. So anyway, they were just talking about the reunion as well, and she's on her same bullshit. She needs to be accountable for her actions and blah blah blah. Okay, well, bitch, you need to be accountable for yours as well. I don't like Portia. I don't like her. I don't like her. And I don't like her. So then that brings us to fucking Nene. I just can't with Nene. And maybe it was because she wasn't really with any other girls. She was rehearsing for Zumanity in Las Vegas. And Zumanity is like the sexual, more adult-oriented Cirque du Soleil show, because they have like 8 million Cirque du Soleil shows in Las Vegas. So that's a sexy one. I guess I would assume simulated sex and, faux nude outfits and stuff. And Nene is the MC because she's fucking loud. Yeah, it wasn't much going on with her. She was rehearsing. She had a little sit down with Greg, her yes man. And then they had this real small scene where she was talking to 2 of the people in the cast, and she was being her phony Nene Leakes in Hollywood phony self. I just cannot with Nene. I could barely stomach the stuff that, they showed on the show. She just irritates me. And, the show is over. We're not talking about the show anymore, because Watch What Happens Live, Nene Leakes was on. She looked a hot fucking mess. I'm sorry. The hair would have been okay if it didn't look so stiff. She would have, I guess, Andy was saying it was a Marilyn Monroe look, but, whatever. It was, I had these deep curls and stuff. But this, so it was like up, raised, and then it was down. I don't know if you guys could see that because I think my camera's cutting off. But right here, I just kept seeing like, that's just mold. I mean, not mold, but it looked like the shit was not moving, couldn't move. Like, I kept thinking, like, if I threw a pin would it just repel or would it just stick in there? But anyway, she looked a mess. Her makeup was way overdone. And she was on her same ass bullshit that she was on when we hated her. Now, I think it was a season right before Kenya came on where she was the sourpuss bitch. And I know she was doing Glee, but I don't know if New Normal had started at that point yet. But that was the season where, I just hated her the most. That whole season, I hated her because she felt like she was so above everything, and she felt like, she had arrived, and my shit don't stink, and I'm so much better. These girls are not on my level, and, blah, 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 blah. She's back on that. She was on it a little bit last season, but she was a little bit more fun last season. And the season before, when Kenya came in, she was real fun. She was really, really fun because I think she was just more sitting back and observing as the resident housewife, the one that had been there for the longest, and she just felt like she didn't feel part of it, you know what I mean? And she was funny. I liked her then. But yeah, now she's back on this whole thing about how these bitches are so negative. I guess somebody called and actually what happened was somebody called and said, "Do you think that it's kind of you're coming off really arrogant? It's fine to celebrate successes and everything, but do you think that the girls feel that you're being a little bit arrogant with, constantly announcing your successes, rubbing it in their faces?" And Andy took it upon himself to be like, "Oh yeah, well, we got a whole bunch of questions about that, saying that you're arrogant and you seem so unhappy, and why do you even want to do the show? Why don't you just leave the show?" And she said, "Oh, well, I might not be back." Something that has been well publicized in the media that this is going to be her last season. Good fucking riddance. But yeah, she was just like, you know what, because I have so much more better things to do than to be around these bitches, and they are so negative, and I'm trying not to be negative, and okay, you're trying not to be negative, but then on the rest of the Watch What Happens Live, you just totally call out, because we can't believe a word Nene says. But, you just constantly say negative shit and say bitchy comments and, about Cynthia, about, so many people, Kenya, Wendy Williams, you know what I mean? So how are you trying to live positive when you spout such negative shit? Okay? And I felt like, normally when it's Andy and Nene, there's a bit of a love fest going on. I feel like for a while Andy has, definitely, how am I going to say this? He's definitely sort of, I don't want to say scratched her back, but, put up with the bullshit because she was the big star of their biggest rated show. And, she brought viewers in, and who knows what she was going to say, because we could use that as a gif, or we could use that, as a promo for something later. But I felt like Andy has had enough of her. And you could tell in the little games that he was coming up with, because there was one game where he would say something that she tweeted, and she loves to do the subtweets where she doesn't really specifically say anybody. So he was like, "I want to know who you were talking about." And the first one was a tweet that she said something about, "It's time for me to get off this sinking ship." And he was like, "Okay, well, what's the sinking ship?" And I could tell that she was taken aback. She didn't expect him to bring that one out, because obviously she's talking about the show being a sinking ship. And he probably took that personally, like, okay, no, this is our number one franchise. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? But yeah, she kind of sidestepped that one and said, a sinking ship could be a relationship too. I guess she was saying that she was talking about Cynthia. It could be, whatever. But I just felt like there was there's a lot of love lost between those two. And yeah, I just can't wait for her to get the fuck off this show. And I seriously cannot see myself watching a spinoff. I've heard, little rumors here and there that she's not coming back to the show, but she's going to get her own spinoff. Couldn't watch it. Couldn't stomach it, because the little bit that they showed of her yesterday, I was just like, I can't. Oh my God, she's just so irritating, and she's so, I'm happy that she is on Broadway. She's doing Cinderella. I'm happy that she has all these opportunities. I'm happy for her in that respect, because, if you work hard, whatever, you should, whatever. But I just feel like maybe she's one of the people that just don't deserve it, because she has such a nasty attitude. She's so nasty and so rude. And, I mean, on the one hand, she has a really, really funky ass, nasty, negative, bitch ass attitude. But then on the other side, she's so phony. Just so undeniably phony and fake. And it's like, okay, so what are we honoring? Her phoniness, or the fact that she's a total bitch, Anyway, I think I went in on Nene maybe a little bit too hard, but I don't know. That was pretty much the episode. And yeah, I was a little disappointed. I just felt like I wanted to feel a bam, a pow, something that was going to be a good cliffhanger. But we're easing into this season. It's going to be a long one, because I guess they're still filming. I can't believe I talked for that long. I had notes to try to keep myself on track, but I didn't even really look at these. But anyway, please like this video, comment, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. And we're going to try to do this every week. Every Monday. Housewives of Atlanta. Oh, did you guys see the Euros of Hollywood? I was kind of into it, because Massimo, the Italian one, he was, and when I say cute, he was cute, he was good looking, but he was just adorable. Like, just his personality and everything, especially when he was in Target with that other girl. So I liked the show up until they showed that girl Bleona, or whatever her name is. She killed it for me. Can't be watching that shit. Not with her. So, peace. I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.